This week is the men's forum, guys. That is tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. at Bond in Los Angeles. It is Wednesday, March 1st, though, 2023 AD, and it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. And daylight savings time is coming soon. Maybe not, maybe for a couple of weeks. I'm just thinking about it because normally it's daylight time. Most of the year it is. Do I need to still wear 2 watches? We're done with Black History Month. We're done. Women's History Month is next, guys. Do you cherish women like our greatest president, Donald J. Trump? I know I do. And I will be covering a real queen of exercise and cussing at the liberals, Marjorie Greene. I will be covering her. CPAC is starting today, by the way, guys. CPAC, that RINO conference. I wonder if Trump will speak there. I heard it's starting today. Maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't feel like it is, but that's what I heard that it is. And by the way, most young men are single, per The Hill. Most young women are not. I will tell you about that and get to your calls. And also there was a murder in St. Louis, Missouri. Was it black on white, or was it black on Hispanic? Or was it black on white Hispanic, or black on homeless? Or just anger. Anger is evil. Like JLP says, he's correct. I admit, he's right. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. And I am wearing a Forest Home t-shirt. It's maroon with yellow. I like the color, and I like the fact that it's, I believe, I'm assuming, since it's a solid color, 100% cotton. 100% cotton. That means I can sweat in it a little bit, just a touch, and it won't stink like polyester stinks so fast. It's not me that stinks. It's the polyester, guys. So, shout out to Forest Home. It's a Christian family camp. I go there sometimes. It's in the mountains, halfway up to Big Bear. I will be getting to your super chats. Yeah, I am remiss in not reading super chats from DJ Onpaw, or at least one. DJ Onpaw gave a diamond the other day and said, Hake arms on fire. That's right, they are. I won't show you, though. And he also gave a super chat that I don't know if I read. Oh, yes, here it is. Oh, no, he said that. There was another one that he said, and I don't know if I read it. And now I don't know if I have it handy. Sorry, man. He gives them, like, late. That's my excuse. It's terrible. Let me see if I have it anywhere. No, not offhand. Let me know if I missed your super chat. I can probably dig it up, man. DJ Onpaw or Jean Paw. I will be getting to your calls, guys. But first, we have to start right off with this. A message. An old message. From our greatest president. In a hit piece advertisement, 30 seconds long, from May 19th, 2016. Clip 6, Hassan. Let's play it right off here. Here's our greatest president, a message.
Nobody respects women more than Donald Trump. That I can tell you.
I'm not supporting.
Would you cut off funding of Planned Parenthood?
Yes, I would. You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Nice. Donald Trump is
Priorities
wrong
USA
for us.
Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
So Priorities USA Action says that Donald Trump is wrong for us. That means he's right for America. Right on. Right on. Here's another one from another little flashback from September 2016. A CNN report on Hillary attacking Trump over this Miss Piggy, Alicia Machado. Here it is, clip 2. As GOP would say, any day now. But it's 1:15 long. Here it is.
But it was this exchange about his treatment of women that is still reverberating.
And one of the worst things he said was about a woman in a beauty contest. He called this woman Miss Piggy. Then he called her Miss Housekeeping because she was Latina. Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
her
this?
name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
this?
Machado.
Where did you find
and
this?
she has become a U.S. citizen, and you can bet she's going to vote this November.
Okay, good.
Alicia Machado, who grew up in Venezuela, won the Miss Universe pageant in 1996. The Clinton campaign inviting her to join a conference call to talk about Trump.
For me, these elections are like a bad dream. Watching this guy again doing stupid things and stupid comments.
2 decades ago, Trump shamed her for gaining weight. Today, he made no apologies.
She gained a massive amount of weight, and it was a real problem.
Advisors to Clinton believe Trump's effort to win over independent and moderate women was set back by frequent outbursts and interruptions.
I did not.
Science is real,
I do not say that.
And I think it's
I do not
important
say
that
Science is real? So that was one of the worst things he said? He called her Miss Piggy and called her Miss Housekeeping? That's something that's supposed to be bad? That's the logic of a woman. Here is a compilation, though, of our greatest president who loves women. He cherishes them. Here's clip 11. And then Hillary running her mouth. Just a nice little flashback for you from September 2015. Enjoy.
I cherish women. I cherish women, and I say it all the time. I cherish women. I will take care of women.
My daughter Ivanka came up to me, and my wife came up to me, Melania, and she knows how passionate I am about women, protecting women and taking care of. I cherish women. My wife came up to me, my daughter Ivanka, who you know came up to me, and they said, you know, the one thing you should do is talk a little bit about women's health issues because you're so good on it, you know about it, and you cherish women. You want to protect women. And protect them in more than one way. That way, I'll protect them militarily, too, because we are such a target. This country is such a target because we're considered to be weak. We're a weak country. We're considered to be weak now.
Yeah. Here's Hillary.
And, you know, whenever he is pressed about the things he says about women, he says he loves women. In fact, to quote him, he cherishes us.
Nice.
Well, if it's all the same to you, Mr. Trump, I'd rather you stop cherishing women and start respecting women.
Oh, man. Respect women. So that's sick Hillary. Not women's status cherished. That's sick Hillary. Ivana Spencer says, thanks, Trump. Am cherished. That's right. You don't need respect. How about respect men? They always put it backwards. Respect women. No, respect men. And love women. He cherishes women. He's about protecting women. And it's true. And he's talking about real stuff. America is weak militarily and in so many other ways. But here's one woman who's talking about the real issues. Maybe is this bad for me to talk about already? Maybe I should just enjoy Trump for a while. Here's a real queen, Marjorie Greene, fighting for us. Thank you, but no thank you, Marjorie Greene. You are a queen. And I say that facetiously a little bit. You know what? Let's go ahead and play this right now because it's like a minute-long clip and it's should be like 10 seconds. Here's Marjorie Green. She tweeted out this, clip 12A. Body, mind, and spirit, be unstoppable. Here she is, exercising. She's a congressman, female congressman. Pro-Trump, though. There she is doing those butterfly pull-ups that look funny. But they're not that bad. It's exercise, guys. Doing exercise push-ups. Full-blown man push-ups, not woman push-ups. Girl push-ups are with your knees. She's on her toes. Might be arching her back at the end, but it's all right. Better than Haig, maybe. Stronger back than Haig, maybe. I don't know. The form is, I don't know. But hey, she's in her 50s. I have the music playing backwards. Squats, right on. No weights, squats. That's good. Good for you. She's like a regular Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan exercised for like 3 hours a day at the gym. He was all fit, but he was a rhino. But she's not so much of a rhino as Paul Ryan. And there's her exercise routine. 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats. Going towards running 800 meters, 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 150 squats, and another run, half mile, 800 meters. And that's called a half Murph. I guess that's her. Well, she explains it after. She explains it. Let's jump over to clip 12B. She's exercising, guys. Exercising for America. I mean, you do want to be fit, and a lot of these guys get fat. So, good for her exercising. Here she is, clip 12B. And she says, so... You can go ahead and play it, because it's silent. Here she is, full-blown regular pull-ups. Those of you who make fun of her butterfly pull-ups. I just got all the workout critics on my butterfly pull-ups. They're done in CrossFit workouts and should not be done unless you can have good shoulder mobility and complete at least 5 strict pull-ups without fatigue. I also train strict pull-ups during other training sessions. Always make sure you go down all the way to straighten out your arms before pulling up again. And chin over the bar at the top. But more importantly, I encourage everyone, no matter how old you are or what level of fitness you are at, that's incorrect grammar, always try to train and exercise to stay strong and healthy so you can live your best life and be the best version of you. I don't like that phrase, be the best version of yourself. Don't sit on the couch and be a hater. We have enough of that. Right on, lady. And here's the second reply. She replied because she got a lot of attention for this attention-seeking, maybe, clip. 12C. Here she is doing squats in her garage or something. And for my friend Mark Lobliner, who did an excellent job explaining butterfly pull-ups, CrossFit, and overall his usual smackdowns to the critics today. I'm doing lots of lifting, too. There she is, lifting. That's like Nick, host of Nick's Stream. He does that. Remember his workout video? How many plates is that? Those are 45s. 45 bar plus 1, 2, 3 on each side? Is it or 2 on each side? Anybody know? 45, 90, 180, 235 at least? That's pretty. Whoa! Or no? Am I wrong? Y'all should listen to Mark Lobliner. He's a guy who exercises on Twitter. He's actually a bodybuilder. He knows how to train people to meet your goals. Adam Kinzinger, the Rhino Trump hater, she loves Trump. So good for her. Said, posting your workout selfies is gross, really. He's fairly fit because he was in the Air Force or Navy or something like that, or Sea. He was a Sea male. Flat Sabbath is doing push-ups away from the keyboard. Right on, man. Fitness gossip, says Obvious Globe. Good for her. But she might have a little too high of tea. Because here's her not being a good example for the kids. Here's clip 12D. This is a hater video. This is a hater video somebody who hates her posted this video and somebody said, working out is great, but Marge, as in Marjorie Taylor Greene, no, I say Marjorie Greene, is a hater trying to start a civil war. What? Might want to ask her about that and all her anger issues and how any of it will lower inflation and help out fellow citizens who need it. And he shares a Patriot Takes, which is an anti-American Twitter account. Videos say Patriot Takes, which hates patriots, says that this was posted on her Getter, which is supposedly a conservative social media outlet, but not here on Twitter. So this is a little bit shocking to me. But I bleeped it. I even covered the mouth so that you can't figure out what she said. Clip 12D, here it is. Very short.
Joe Biden, you're not a president. You're a piece of
Whoa. I clicked on the video. I was not expecting that. She said, Joe Biden, you're not a president. You're a piece of... I feel like I shouldn't even say that. Terrible. And she's standing outside her CrossFit gym. I disavow. I disavow. And I really disavow this video. I sincerely, totally disavow this YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Here's this one. On behalf of President Trump and all his voters in Georgia, here's a gift. She shared a gift emoji. This is what I had to say to Gabe Sterling today. And who's Gabe Sterling? Apparently he's a guy on this Election Integrity Commission. And the elections are they have a high amount of integrity. It's almost 3 minutes long. Bear with me, guys. And then I will get to your calls and other stories and stuff. But, and this one is actually kind of serious. But it has misinformation in it that I bleeped. She cusses once and I bleeped the cuss word with the same word. I didn't know she said that word a lot. She might have said that at AFPAC 3, come to think of it. But I don't think she did. But she also said stuff like fraud, and I bleeped that word because I bleeped I bleeped misinformation. So anyway, here's Representative MTG, Marjorie Greene, on behalf of Trump and the voters of Florida. Here it is.
Laurel, thank you very much for your expertise on this issue. Gabe, I do not consider you an expert on this issue. As a matter of fact, I consider you a major problem. And here's why. My ex-husband showed up to vote in person in the 2020 general election and was told he already voted. And they said, Mr. Greene, you have voted absentee ballot. He said, no, I haven't. I never requested one. I never filled one out. I never sent it in. And he had to sign a form surrendering a ballot he never voted on and never sent in order to vote in person. Now, that complaint got largely ignored. No one listened. We reported in the news. We reported it at the Secretary of State's office, reported it constantly, and no one gave a shit about what happened to him. But guess what? It wasn't just him. There were many, many people that reported the same issue, not just in Floyd County, but all over the state. And I want to tell you something else. For you to say there were no dead voters in Georgia, there was tons of dead voters in Georgia. And then the other thing is you have constantly shilled for this election, and I'm going to tell you, there was blatant outright in the 2020 election. Complete and total you know it. You absolutely do know it. And I'm going to follow up with one more thing. Trump Georgia. I know you don't like for me to say that, but I am convinced that he did. I'm born and raised in Georgia, lived there all my life, campaigned all over the state in the 2020 election. And to come in here for the Election Integrity Caucus and for you to be on the panel, it's actually insulting to election integrity because I think you did a horrific job for the state of Georgia. And I can't believe that our tax dollars have to pay you to run our election system. You were formerly a Georgia state employee, and then you got to be a contractor during the election. Well, I think that was that. I don't know why that happened, and no one else got picked, but somehow we ended up with you. But there were massive problems in the recount in Floyd County. They recovered I think it was over 2,000 votes for Trump in the hand recount. Floyd County is a tiny little county. Teeny tiny little county. To recover over 2,000 votes for Trump in a hand recount is outrageous. And then we have the whole catastrophe of cases coming out from under the table, videos of them re-scanning stacks of all of this went on, but the Secretary of State's office said, "Oh, flawless election in the state of Georgia in 2020." And I'm sorry, it's and I hate to tell you, but there are many Georgians, and I'm one of them, that have no faith in our election system in Georgia, and I'm still upset about it. So the fact that I get to come in here for Election Integrity Caucus, thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you, Claudia, but this, I don't find any election integrity here.
Wow. I, of course, disavow all of that. No, she's not cussing that much. She only cussed once in that whole video. I just bleeped, words like fraud, because you don't need to hear that, or Trump, or elections, or suitcases, stuff like that. I bleeped those things. Oh, man. She did not cuss that much. And not, when you say not integrity, of course it's integrity, right? How does she get away with saying that without getting banned on on YouTube and Twitter and stuff? Maybe she is banned. She was banned on Twitter for a while. I think her personal account was. Crazy, huh? I do appreciate the people still saying what they think about whether there were shenanigans, but I, of course, disavow it. Yeah. CPAC, by the way, speaking of rhinos, CPAC is happening supposedly today. CPAC? Let's see. I think it's happening. It's supposed to happen anyway. That's what I heard. Conservative, quote-unquote, political action conference begin just outside of Washington, D.C. Billed as the largest and most influential gathering of conservatives in the world, CPAC will feature speeches from the 3 Republican presidential candidates who have announced. That's Donald Trump. That's Vivek Ramaswamy, that Indian guy with the big forehead like Hake and big hair. He's young entrepreneur guy. And then, of course, that other Indian rhino anchor baby, Nikki Haley, who hates this beautiful South, even though she was somehow elected governor of South Carolina, I think. She's going to speak. And former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who said he's considering a bid for the presidency. Mike Pompeo. He's kind of funny, right, supposedly? Will Marjorie Greene be at CPAC? Will real young conservative guys, whites, be banned from CPAC? March 1st through 4th at Gaylord National Harbor for CPAC 2023. So I guess it's happening. Matt Schlapp is the guy, right? So, whatever. Today, March 1st, is the beginning of Women's History Month. That's why I was playing all these female stuff. Let me get to a call or two, guys. First, let me get to Jay in New Hampshire on the line. Jay in New Hampshire, how you doing, man?
Hey, good, man. How are you, man? Love the show, man.
Doing fine, thank you.
So my question is, how come if Marjorie's not dropping all these, swear bombs, why, just because she's using some harsh words, why are we bleeping them out?
I'm only bleeping them to protect my channel. In fact, I wonder whether I should even be playing that clip. Because she's making allegations about the election, and you're not allowed to do that on social media. Because people riot over that. People have insurrections over that. And so,
right on. All right, that's good, because I thought it was a different angle. I thought we were playing judge over what would offend people. So I'm glad you're not doing that.
Oh no,
but I get protecting the channel.
Right, because I already got a strike on the channel just like the other week for disagreeing with the term election deniers, and I of course agree with the term election deniers. YouTube. I disavow election denial, just like Rupert Murdoch.
That's right. When it comes up to discussion, when you're talking about needles and things that are in needles that people might put in their arms, you got to call it the jibby jab.
Yes, and I of course disavow all vax deniers or vax. What do you got? Anti-vaxxers. I disavow anti-vaxxers.
Yeah,
you're not
if
allowed
you don't
to
disavow.
make statements. Anyway,
That's
what a
it.
mess. So that's the only
Right on,
reason
Wolf.
why. We'll see if I'm still alive. Whatever.
Good stuff. I hopefully you guys stay going live. God bless, man.
Thank you, man. Take care. Let me get to CJ in Texas on the line. CJ, thank you for calling and holding, man. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. Hello, Mr. Hake. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Glad to hear it. I kind of wanted to talk to you. When I had first called you the first time, you had, during our conversation, you had asked me, and it missed me. You asked me if I trusted the vaccine.
I did? I asked you that?
Yeah, because you were talking about how I believe in other conspiracy theories like Paul, and he said, do you trust the vaccine?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't want to address that correctly because I don't want your channel to get nuked.
Right.
But I would like to talk about three companies. Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson have both had enormously large civil fines levied against them. Pfizer for paying doctors to kickbacks to prescribe their medicines on off-label uses. So Pfizer pays doctors to give people medicine, and they were given a $1.4 billion fine for something like that. Johnson & Johnson is in the process of trying to do bankruptcy shenanigans because they were knowingly giving and selling their talcum powder to women, knowing that it was giving them cervical cancer.
I heard something like that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they knew full well that it was giving them cancer. So Johnson & Johnson gives people stuff that gives them cancer and covers it up. And they're facing, over $1 billion in civil fines for that. So I don't really trust those companies. I don't trust companies that prey on people, knowingly give them products that cause cancer. And so I figure, if these companies made something and they found out it was harmful to their clientele and the people that were using the products, they have a history of covering it up and not saying anything.
Yeah.
That leaves a third company named Moderna. Now, Moderna's past is weird because there's nothing there.
There is no... What do you mean there's nothing there with Moderna's past?
There's nothing there. So Moderna became a company, and it was founded in 2010. Okay. Between 2011 and 2017, venture capitalists invested $2 billion into it. Then it went public. In 2018, it became a public company.
Wow.
And they purchased a 200,000 square foot facility. Now, Moderna has sold absolutely nothing to the public since 2010. Their only thing they've ever sold is the COVID-19 vaccine.
Really? Is that a fact?
So they went for 11 years selling absolutely nothing, making lots of money in investments, just waiting to make one product that would then make them, they got they got billions from the they got $955 million from Operation Warp Speed to develop the COVID-19 vaccines, with $5 billion committed in total for producing 300 million vaccines.
Wow.
Yeah. So how a company just sat around for 11 years doing nothing, being invested in by super elite people, making absolutely nothing. I'm just like, man, it's almost like...
Where'd you get this info? Do you know? Do you remember?
I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
So now
Wikipedia
Moderna
said that they were doing nothing? They were making nothing?
They didn't say they did nothing, but the Wikipedia does say that the only thing that they've ever sold to the public was a COVID-19 vaccine.
Wow.
It's on the second paragraph here. The company's only commercial product is the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, marketed as Spikevax.
Wow.
The company has 45 treatment vaccine candidates. So also Moderna, on their COVID-19 patent, for the vaccine patent, they were sharing it with the FDA. Now, I think Dr. Anthony Fauci's wife was on the board of the FDA. And so the FDA was making money off of this vaccine. Well, Fauci was off in China developing the virus. His wife was working with the FDA, who happened to run into a partnership with this company that's done nothing but sit around and wait to make a vaccine for some virus that the FDA board member's husband was in China creating. Just thought it was weird.
You're saying Fauci was in China creating a virus?
Fauci was funding the COVID-19 Wuhan laboratory gain of function in China.
He was in China there?
He was funding it in China.
Right. I knew that he was funding gain of function according to Rand Paul or something like that. That's what they were saying.
In the Wuhan COVID-19
right, in the same
facility.
Wuhan facility. Yep.
Right, but it's called the COVID Wuhan laboratory. That laboratory studies COVID.
You mean coronaviruses?
Viruses.
Coronaviruses.
Yeah, coronaviruses.
Yeah, not necessarily COVID specifically, I don't think.
Because
it existed
COVID-19
before.
is the specific virus, but I don't know what the name of the lab is. It could be Corona, but yeah. I believe it's COVID.
Shenanigans. So you're suspecting shenanigans by the government, huh?
I don't know why this company's only thing that they've ever... So this company's made nothing, not even a different vaccine ever, and sold it to the public. But then, under Operation Warp Speed, it's able to produce an mRNA vaccine that's no mRNA vaccine's ever been made by any company and given to the public before. It's able to do it in record time under Operation Warp... I mean, just bam! It's like, I think you guys, already... had it most of the way figured out before the coronavirus. I think that.
Do you support
my
Trump?
thoughts are that. Do I support Trump?
Yeah.
I think
for 2024.
I think he's the best president we've ever had since I've been alive.
Okay.
I don't know.
Notwithstanding your reservations about the Operation Warp Speed and his promotion of the vax, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't think he knew, but I think Moderna already had it 95% of the way figured out because I think they're working in tandem with the labs creating the virus, and I think the labs were, giving them samples and saying, this is what we're working on, get ready for it.
Okay.
And then it leaked, and then it went all over the world.
So you called about sauerkraut?
Well, I didn't know my chat yesterday was going to explode into such a discussion.
What's that?
I said I didn't know my chat yesterday was going to explode into such a discussion.
Your chat? Your cat?
Yeah, I chatted about sauerkraut and whole milk, and it seemed to resonate for half an hour or something. And you guys talking about probiotics yesterday.
On whose show?
Your show.
On my show?
Your show.
I vaguely remember for half an hour. You're exaggerating.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating. But you were talking about yogurt and fermented foods and probiotics.
I vaguely remember something like that. Okay.
Oh, geez,
What did you want to say about sauerkraut?
Well, you were talking about pickles and how you didn't like pickles, and your mom wouldn't make you eat swordfish. And
that's right. Okay.
Is it ringing a bell now? Okay.
Yes.
So the difference between pickles and fermented cucumbers, right? Pickling something means you add acetic acid to it, which you would know is vinegar. And you usually take it in a 5% solution and you add it to the vegetables and then you bottle it.
Okay.
And that preserves it through a method that's called pickling. Fermenting, when you make sauerkraut, there's this bacteria family called Lactobacillus, and it naturally occurs on food. And you salt the vegetables and it pulls the water out. And it creates a protective brine against them molding. And then those bacteria survive it, and they break down the sugars and the carbohydrates that are in there. and they make lactic acid, and the acid starts to increase, and it kills off other bad bacteria from being able to grow. And then it goes through 4 cycles of that bacteria makes so much acid, it kills itself. Then the next bacteria that survives makes enough acid, it dies off. And the next bacteria survives. And then you get, at the end, you get the highest strain of lactobacillus. And you have so much acid, lactic acid in there that it also preserves itself in that way. Now, when you eat fermented food, you get all of that good bacteria that's called probiotics, and that goes into your gut, and it starts to digest the undigestible carbohydrates, which is called dietary fiber. It will ferment those and create fatty acids and other acids and that are really good for your body.
Wow.
And stuff like that. So eating fermented food also introduces bacteria into your gut that's good, and it's also the preferred food for the bacteria that's already there. And then your bacteria that's in your gut communicates to your brain through something called the vagus nerve, the vagus nerve, and they can actually send messages to your brain to where you will, when you get a craving for food, a lot of times that's what the bacteria in your gut wants. And so if you don't have a very healthy gut, bacteria down there, you will crave unhealthy foods. If you have a very good, healthy gut down there, you will start to actually enjoy things like sauerkraut.
Interesting.
But when you're eating yogurt, you're not getting anything usually because they pasteurize it. So they heat everything up, even sauerkraut. They'll heat it up till it kills off all the bacteria. So if you want to get probiotics from these fermented foods, you have to get raw yogurt, you have to get unpasteurized yogurt, you have to get unpasteurized cottage cheese, you have to get unpasteurized sauerkraut. It'll be like raw sauerkraut, and then you'll have all of those good bacteria in there that's really healthy for your gut.
Wow, thanks for the info, man. So you're saying you're disputing what my doctor said. One of my doctors said that yogurt is the best probiotic that you can get, just regular yogurt. And
what you get right off the shelf, like Dannon or something like that, has no probiotics in it at all. If you want to get cultured yogurt that has live cultures in it, you'll know you're getting it because it's going to cost about 3 times as much.
Wow. Terrible.
And you'll only find it at like health stores and stuff. But you can get cultured cottage cheese and cultured sour cream. Sometimes you can get cultured yogurt.
I don't like sour cream, and I don't like I don't like sour cream, and I don't like cottage cheese. It's gross.
Well, kimchi, man, that is people that have lived like in South Pacific Asia that live to be over 100 and stuff. A lot of times they'll, ask them, what do you do? And they say, well, I go for walks and stuff, and I eat kimchi every day.
Kimchi,
so,
all right.
Kimchi and sauerkraut are probably the two, that and like liver are some of the most nutrient, just the best nutritious food you can eat.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate
You're doing good with the kimchi.
Okay, nice. Or sauerkraut, which is the same thing, right? Kimchi and sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut is just cabbage, usually from a German form of fermentation. Kimchi uses Napa or Chinese cabbage, and it usually has chili peppers and daikon radish and some other stuff in it. Kimchi pretty much just has more ingredients added into it.
All right. Nice.
Which probably gives you a wider spread of food for your bacteria. So, I mean, kimchi is probably even a little bit healthier than sauerkraut.
Who knew? I didn't. How did you find out all this? How did you know all this stuff? Don't you study the earth or something like that? How do you know
I'm
this
a
stuff?
civil engineer.
Yeah,
well, I ferment all my own vegetables and stuff. I mean, I make my own sauerkrauts and
okay.
stuff.
That's smart. I wish that I was that I liked, pickled stuff better. I mean, sauerkraut's okay. I've learned to like it, and kimchi.
I don't know. I know a lot about dietary health because I think it's important.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's a good thing to know. I mean, I do 48-hour fasts. I activate autophagy. There's a lot of good science behind eating and not eating.
What word did you just say? Activate what?
Autophagy. It's a Latin word for eating yourself. And so after about 24 hours of your body running out of food, it will start to break down old cells and dead cells, and it'll find broken pieces of proteins and stuff floating around in your system. And it will recycle those. It will start to make new new neurons. It'll increase your growth hormone.
Wow.
And like all sorts of great stuff starts to happen when your body goes into autophagy. Your skin will tighten up. It's because it's eating the old useless proteins and it's making new, more elastic ones. So if you have like saggy skin from losing weight, a lot of times a really good fasting regimens will help tighten that up. Your hair will grow stronger. Your acne will often go away.
Wow.
Fasting is probably one of the healthiest things a person can do, is really getting into a fast that lasts more than 24 hours.
Okay. Appreciate that, CJ. It's great to hear from you, man.
Yeah. Hey, take care. Yeah. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Take care. CJ in Texas. Who knew? See, he knows good stuff he has good stuff to share. You haters. That's Evil is Real. Evil is Real. Who also gave a super chat. He bought a coffee from buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. It said, Revelation 21:14, and the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. The 12, not 12 of the 13. Anyone not of the 12 claiming to be an apostle before the return is a false apostle, says Evil is Real. And that's because people refer to Paul as the Apostle Paul, and I think Paul refers to himself as the apostle or an apostle. Are there only 12 apostles, period, and that's it? What is apostle? A-P-O-S-T-L-E. Each of the 12 chief disciples of Jesus Christ. And then who replaced Judas Iscariot? Who replaced Judas? I think it was Matthias. Okay. Matthias? Okay. So I don't know. Interesting. Thank you, Evil is Real. He is a Paul denier. In seminary they study Pauline theology. Makes his name into a woman's name. What? That may be an ignorant statement. Thank you, CJ. Evil is Real. Appreciate the support, man. Art in Ohio on the line, talking about real stuff happening in the country. What is going on, Art? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. How you doing, Hank?
Doing fine, thank you.
So, first things first, I caught something somebody said the other day in your chat. They said, I said, as soon as I think of something, I call back and tell you, talk to you. And they was like, oh, and somebody in your chat said, oh, he'll be thinking about something. Shout out to you, because you damn right. I thought about a whole bunch of something. Excuse my language, Hank.
Sorry, kids.
And I'm calling back. So
right on, man.
First thing first, I want to say shout out to the libtards or whatnot, all the feminist libtards and with their toxic femininity or whatnot, and shout out to the beta boy liberals or whatnot, and definitely shout out to my generation of the Dorito boys and this generation of the Dorito boys. You want to know what the Dorito boys is?
I'm scared to ask, but go ahead.
Well, it ain't, we keep it clean. We're going to keep it clean.
Right.
The Dorito boys is the boys who's raised by the single moms who be like, oh, he don't like to eat spaghetti or whatnot, so he gonna let him eat Doritos just so he don't start or he or she don't start crying talking about their kids. Then they grow up and then they got these old little frail bodies or whatnot. You can tell they either too fat or they too skinny. Don't look like they've never worked out a muscle in their life. All because mama don't want them to do push-ups or they ain't active. Mama got them sitting in the house all protecting them and stuff, and they got them little frail old bodies or whatnot, and a lot of them be overweight. Oh, man, America got a lot of overweight beta boys, man. So, and something else I wanted to say, too, is if me and you friends or whatnot, and I'm using this analogy, me and you friends, and you say, Nick say, Hate can beat you up. I'll be like, hold up, Nick, no, Hate can't beat me up. He can probably beat you up. You know what I mean? Basically saying, don't tell me that somebody gonna beat me up, even if I think that you could beat me up, I'm not gonna sit there and cop deuces and be like, oh, hey, can beat me up, and I'm not gonna just not defend myself. Even if you can beat me up or whatnot, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, I'm just gonna roll over, and even if we is fighting, I'm just not gonna fight back. You might beat me up, but I'm gonna punch you, and you're gonna respect my punching power. So when a lot of these liberals and these beta boys and beta girls say, oh, the Mexicans work so hard, every time I be at the gym, I only see 2 whites and 2 blacks, and I just keep seeing all these dang on foreigners or whatnot. And the whole time I'm looking at all of them, not just Mexicans or, all of them coming across the board, I'm like, wow. For them to be so much of hard workers, they don't look like they lifted nothing or ever worked at anything in their life. Them bodies are so messed up, fat, flabby, either too skinny, bony. And my thing is this, man, you can fool everybody else. You can't go fool me. I know somebody that works hard. You can tell by how they look and how they move and everything, man.
Right.
So you might think that Mexicans work or foreigners work harder than Americans or whatnot, or may think they work harder than blacks, but I disavow and I disagree greatly. And that's my first thing first. Second thing is, shout out to the callers yesterday. I don't too much tend to disagree with the people who I'm talking about and whatnot, because a lot of the stuff they be saying I be agreeing with and I like them and whatnot, but it seems to be a thing to where we talking about what the blacks is doing and the blacks is doing this and the blacks is doing that or whatnot. But last time I checked, when a lot of this Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, only thing I seen was a whole bunch of liberal whites out there pandering and pushing this liberal racist narrative to the blacks or whatnot. So let's call them out too. Make sure, which I know you do. So I'm not saying that you're not doing it. What I'm basically saying is let's not forget about them while we trying to be too hard or not. Well, we ain't being too hard on the blacks, man. Let's be hard on them. So let's make sure we don't forget about the liberal whites that were out here participating in all this stuff. Second thing is, I don't remember when Ketanji Jackson was getting sworn in as the Supreme Court justice or whatnot. Ketanji Jackson, Ketanji Jackson, whatever her name is.
Ketanji Onyeka Brown Jackson.
Susika Jackson. Okay, that's my fault. Okay, so yeah, whatever her liberal brain name is, libtard. She ain't nothing but a dang on libtard. She's a jabroni. She can shove it up her, but long story short, only thing I seen was a whole bunch of liberal whites in there clapping or whatnot, a handful of maybe 2 or 3 blacks in there. So there was a majority of whites in there clapping, pushing the narrative or whatnot. Oh, shout out to the liberals too, because you voted and stand for this mess or whatnot. Now a lot of y'all getting discriminated on the job both ways, whites and blacks. And then your president turn around and do open discrimination right in front of the same person y'all voted for, turn around and do open discrimination right in front of you on live TV, and y'all sit and agree with it. Wow.
Sleepy Joe.
Some dummies. What a whole
Which one are
bunch
you
of
referring
dummies.
to? Which instance of Sleepy Joe Biden discriminating against the whites and or the blacks live on TV and people clapping? Which time?
When you put Ketanji Topeka Jackson 5 into office because she's a black liberal
woman,
probably a liberal lesbian female or whatnot.
Oh no, she's married to a white man, I guess.
Allegedly,
right?
Allegedly, we know how this goes.
Maybe not a normal
we heard
white.
This story. Yeah, so when they ain't normal white or whatnot, they tend to have a mistress or a mistress on the side. We know, I've been here 36 years. I know how the cookie crumbles.
Well,
so,
I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah. So long story short, when you swore her in office because she's a black female or whatnot, and not on the basis that she is the highest learner in her class, that's discrimination. So shout out to all of them or whatnot. And I just want to say, I want to be hard on the blacks or whatnot just as well as I'm hard on the whites. Because America's going to HELL in the SHIT bag, and it ain't all the blacks. The white people don't got so sloppy to where they just telling on themselves right on public TV or whatnot, and they ain't even hiding it or whatnot. You know, and I mean, I want to go ahead and just bring that to the forefront or whatnot as far as that.
What are you referring to? Whites telling on themselves on TV?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, telling on themselves or whatnot and destroying their own country or whatnot. You could say that the blacks is part of destroying the country, but I don't want to make sure I forget about them dumb liberal whites neither or whatnot and how they doing it or whatnot, because all this stuff that they pushing or whatnot, they destroying their own country and going to make it worse for their own generation of kids just as well as the blacks is or whatnot. And I just ain't never seen so many dumb whites just as long as with the blacks to where they willing to give up their own rights to give them to somebody else. They willing to take food off their own table and only be eating peanuts and to give other people full-fledged dinners paid for by them, and they ain't even eating their damn self. Meaning you want to go ahead and give all your money up to a whole bunch of people when
all right, you keep on cussing.
No, I ain't saying no cuss words now. But you
said dang. You said dang self.
Dang, yeah, dang. I don't think I said dang.
And then you spelled out, and then you spelled out cuss words. You know, kids can spell. Kids who listen to Hake are smart, man. You can't be spelling out cuss words on the Hake report. This is not Nick's. Maybe I shouldn't slander Nick's stream. Nick, host of the Anchor Baby show. Nick doesn't allow too much cussing either. I don't know. You're getting kind of loosey goosey with your tongue, man.
Loosey goosey. Shout out to Nick, man. We ain't never got
apologies. We respect the parents and the guardians who allow their very smart children to catch hake. And we appreciate
yes, sir.
I appreciate your calls, man. Make sure that you keep it cleaner than
hey, one more thing, Hake, so I can get off here.
Okay.
Shout out to the blacks and whatnot in New Jersey for letting that 12-year-old die on the football field, and these dumb blacks don't even know how to do CPR. The little 12-year-old black kid died on the football field about a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah, cardiac arrest, just like a 20-year-old LSU student just died of cardiac arrest. Man, these people falling out the sky like birds. Catch you later, man. We still rolling with Trump.
Thank you, Art. Appreciate you, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right. Wow, 12-year-old died? Crazy. February 19th, 2023, in the independent.co.uk, mother demands answers after the 12-year-old boy, reading about the little news story from Art. Mother demands answers after 12-year-old boy collapses and dies during football practice. Raven Brown, sounds like a black woman's name, claimed her son Elijah. Sounds like a possibly black young man's name. Young man, 12-year-old, you're a young man, okay? According to the Jews who know, right? Shout out to the Jews. We love the Jews on the Hake Report. Claimed her son did not, repeat, not receive CPR. And this is a foreign outlet, far left foreign outlet, independent. 12-year-old boy has died after collapsing during a no-contact football practice in New Jersey. Foreigners covering stories in New Jersey. News 12 New Jersey reported the local information. Elijah Jordan Brown-Garcia. So what is he, a black Hispanic? His mother, Raven Brown. He was unresponsive February 10th during a drill at Kip Rise Elementary in Newark. Rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead later. Mother Raven Brown said she was first informed Elijah had collapsed by her 10-year-old son, who was also at practice, 2 years younger. Wow. He told her school officials poured water over Elijah's face in an attempt for him to regain consciousness, but did not perform CPR. Why am I laughing about this? Just the incompetence, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. That's probably what I would do. Pour water on his face. Wake up, Hassan. Sorry, Hassan. That's messed up. Wake up, big brother. No, recounting the conversation with her surviving son, Ms. Brown told News 12, I asked, what are they doing? What is anybody doing? And he said, they're pouring water on him and they're fanning him. Wake up, wake up. And that's when I got my kids together and I said, I'm on my way. He was so happy to be there. He didn't know what it was going to be his last day. So he died doing what he loved, Elijah. Aww. Let me show the picture of he's a soldier, and he has it's not a pacifier, guys. It's a mouth guard, I think. Let me show you guys this screenshot of in this folder, and then Hassan, I have a question for you about that drink you said. Okay, refresh the folder, Hassan. There's a picture of him. Terrible. Thank you for the tip. Artie Art is from the streets, guys, or he spent time in the streets, so that's why his language is so rough. Cut him some slack, parents. Anyway, the ambulance that transported him to the hospital took 30 to 40 minutes to arrive at the school, according to CBS. Get up, get down. 911's a joke in your town. 911 does the emergency medical response to EMS. Not just the cops. There he is. He died. According to this report. There was a balloon release. Those schools release a whole bunch of balloons. I remember on 100's Day, we would release 100 balloons into the sky in honor of the 12-year-old kid. Schools, so corny, so woman-led nowadays, right? Shout out to the women. We love women. We cherish women. Conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers have falsely argued that recent sudden deaths stem from vaccination, which I disavow. According to research by the Mayo Clinic and Sudden Cardiac Arrest Association, sudden cardiac death has been the leading cause among high school athletes for years, but they have not spiked post-China virus. I wonder if they've spiked post other things. You know, there's other vaccines other than just the China virus vax that have been proliferating among the kids. But I, of course, disavow any speculation about any link or even correlation. Some states require schools to have automated external defibrillators, AED. In New Jersey, Janet's law requires every school to have that available, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it requires at least 5 coaches or staff to have CPR training, but apparently they didn't do it. Crazy story, huh? Huh. So after the break, I'll go to Hassan and the calls and more stories. Most men are single, most women are not. Did you know that? But now it's time for a very brief song. Let's play this brief track. This is Agnus Dei. Am I mispronouncing it? Agnus Dei by Sepideh Vahidi from Psalters from 2006, I think. The Divine Liturgy of the Wretched Exiles. Yeah, Psalters. Great hippie, liberal, so-called Christian band, I think, sort of. Here it is. I enjoy this song. I've played it multiple times. I hope you do too, and I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight.
Agnus Dei, qui tollis, peccata mundi, miserere peccata mundi, miserere. Peccata mundi,
of God, Agnus Dei, Lamb of God. Thank you, chat. Somebody in the chat said that. Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, who takes... That's Jesus, I think. Unless that's a hoax, too. This Evil Israel said that... Never mind. Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world, give us peace. Something like that. Get out prayer rug, says covert overt. Yeah, that lady, Sepideh Vahidi, Sepideh Vahidi, something like that. That's Hebrew? Or is it Hebrew or Latin? I don't know. That was Psalters. That was nice. Hey, thank you, Danimal. Yeah, she was, I think she's Persian, which means Iranian. Is that white? It's close enough to white. Is that white, Hassan? Those Iranians?
I mean, I'll take it.
Nice. Yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me through the beautiful music. Somebody said all my exes have these CDs. Hassan, you talked about Good Belly drink?
Oh, yeah. It's just kind of like a probiotic health drink, but I was curious because I like this CJ guy. This guy's got...
Yeah, he has interesting takes.
Interesting takes and info, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
I don't know if I agree with him. I don't agree with him on everything. But interesting guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with him with anything, but
I know.
Still interesting kind of guy.
Right. Many Iranians, also known as Persians, why aren't they called Persia, are Aryan, says Rusty Smackleford, which is, that's the master race. I disavow that. But yeah, Aryan. Huh. Okay, so you've had Good Belly?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It is pretty good.
It tastes good or it feels good later, or can you tell afterwards?
Well, I thought about it actually because when he said that when you change the flora in your stomach or change the good bacteria, it is interesting how whatever signals it's sending to the brain, you do start to crave, quote unquote, healthier things or whatever.
Right.
So I guess it's an acquired taste.
Okay.
For that drink, it's a good drink. It's kind of like commercialized, so it's not like a...
Right.
But I do tend to really only find it a lot of times, usually at, like, super health stores and stuff.
Okay.
So, anyway, but, yeah, I think what he's saying is true. I think there's some... You know, they used to refer to the stomach as the original brain.
Wow.
The first brain.
Oh, true, huh?
I don't know who they are, but someone.
I think you're right, though.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. I've heard that before, and it kind of makes sense, you know? Like, my gut tells me this, or, you know, you have an odd feeling or whatever. Huh.
Yeah.
And you need that stuff? Do you need that stuff more?
I did, yeah, because I found out that I wasn't breastfed as a child.
Yeah.
And according to these, you know, health
told you.
experts, you know.
Are they alternative health or are they Western health or both?
These are alternative.
Okay.
Like holistic.
Right.
Witch doctors.
Yeah.
But they would say that because you weren't breastfed that you haven't built like a good flora or good bacteria or whatever.
Wow.
So I started doing deep dives into the probiotic world, and
you can go too crazy with the probiotics, I've heard.
Yeah.
One doctor told me that he tried one probiotic and he didn't go to the bathroom for like 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, TMI maybe, but but that's why he was the same guy who told me that a male doctor, a purportedly somewhat white man, told me that just regular yogurt is good enough. That's what he told me. Because I was thinking, oh man, maybe, because I was taking all these antibiotics, you know, I had surgery and tooth surgery too, or whatever you call it. So I had taken like 2 or 3 rounds of antibiotics.
Yeah.
And that messes. Somebody in the chat told me, "Hey, be careful. It could mess with the flora in your stomach."
Sure.
So like I was thinking, oh man, maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Because, the antibiotics is really killing everything.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
killing the bad and
the good bacteria.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why, obviously, I mean, sometimes you have to, you have to.
Yeah.
When you're doing surgery or whatever. But
right.
The best is to try to obviously not do it. But
yeah.
when you do it, replenishing with the probiotics.
Last question, Hassan. Are you joining me in cherishing women for Women's History Month?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice. I picked that song, Agnus Dei, by Sepideh Vahidi, whatever you call her name, from Psalters, because I'm like, what's my favorite song sung by a woman? I'm like, that song. It's a great song.
It's a
People love
beautiful
it.
song.
Yeah.
You
Even like her long pauses during it is cool.
And
it's like
you
compelling.
choose songs. You have a very interesting song palette because you find a lot of songs that are just vocals.
Right.
There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pauses and
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that one's beautiful.
I hated to ruin it, making jokes and stuff. That's why I started to stop saying what Evil is Real said about Jesus. Oh no, it wasn't Evil is Real. It was Greenwall in the Jesse Lee Peterson super chats today. Greenwall, who's on cozy.tv and on DLive for JLP. I don't know if Greenwall catches hate, but he was the one who said that blood sacrifice was a Hebrew lie, something like that. And, Lamb of God signifies the lamb, because the Israelites had to sacrifice innocent animals like lambs and stuff who hadn't done anything wrong. So this was the Lamb of God. Not to be confused with the band that's not Christian. Lamb of God is not a Christian band. Warning. Anyway, that's a side joke. But, yeah, I'd never heard that before. I think that the sacrifice for sins is not necessarily Hebrew lie, but maybe he meant something else. I don't know.
Yeah, he has a lot of interesting things that if he claims to be a Christian, I've never heard these types of claims come from I've heard them from Muslims.
This one wasn't CJ. This was Greenwall. Oh. But yeah, the people in chat in general.
Oh, yeah.
Have some unique takes.
Oh, yeah, they're not the same.
Or they might not be unique, but there's takes that are less common. That's for sure.
Yeah. And, because there's so many different versions of, like, Mormons and...
Yeah.
What's the other... Jehovah's Witness and...
Right.
I don't know fully everyone's takes and beliefs on every little thing. So it's just interesting.
Yeah. And just because you go against what the mainstream Christian thing is, the mainstream Christian thing is not working.
Yeah.
So... who knows? Anyway, thank you, Hassan.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
that,
Thank
man.
you.
Let me get to Shane in New York. Speaking of Women's History Month, I know one woman who's history. Shane in New York, how you doing, man?
Wow. Disrespecting me right off the bat.
What's that?
Women's history? What does that mean?
Oh, because there's a woman in Chicago, in Chi-Town, whose history as mayor. You think I'm disrespecting you?
Oh no, I thought you were disrespecting me.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. You're a first-time caller. I don't even know you. I wouldn't. Well, I disrespect people I don't know a lot too. Maybe.
Yeah. That was something. Yeah, Beetlejuice out.
Beetlejuice. She kind of looks kind of like that guy. I've never seen that movie. I was sheltered. But
she only got 15% of the vote.
Lori Lightfoot, yeah. Well, there's are there mail-in ballots still to come in or something like that?
I think it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
She's done.
Somebody else got like 38% of the vote. I heard.
Was that on the Jesse show, or it didn't come in yet? Right?
Oh yeah, no, it it is not completely settled, or it wasn't completely settled. But on Twitter, I saw somebody say, "Oh, Lori Lightfoot lost." I was like, "Whoa!" I expected her to win. So I quote tweeted that, and I said, "Whoa! Right in time for Women's HiStOry Month. Lori Lightfoot is out as mayor of Chicago. Paul Vallis had 35% of the vote as of last night, but that's not complete. And then that Brandon Johnson sleaze got 20%. So hopefully, I don't know why that's a runoff. Oh, I guess it's a runoff because the top two, if nobody got over 50%, okay, I guess. Hopefully Paul Vallis wins. Paul Vallis is pro-cop, which makes him sound like he's better than Brandon Johnson, who is pro-teachers union.
Anything's better, right?
Yeah. And Lori Lightfoot is just the scum of the earth. Is that mean to say? Scum of the earth? Is that dehumanizing? I disavow that.
She's just, she's led by a different spirit, and we'll say it's not the Holy Spirit,
Satan.
for sure, you know?
Yeah, true. She's kind of cute sometimes. I don't really appreciate her dancing in the streets. She's too dykey for my taste, you know?
Yeah, that guy, CJ, had some good pointers on how you should fast and eat and the probiotic situation and the gut health. You know, it's called our second brain, right? And it does tie into the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve in between our stomach and our brain.
Okay.
So basically, what you eat or what you don't eat affects your brain.
Yeah.
So anxiety, depression, and all this stuff can really be fixed by literally like limiting all carbohydrates almost, and are just putting them around activity. And you should be really adopting more of a carnivore diet where you're eating, you know, just meat and fats, essentially.
Oh, you're saying carnivore, more of a carnivore diet. You got garbled a little bit there, but I think you said more of a carnivore diet?
Yeah, carnivore. Like
you're breaking up a bit, man. Stay close to your phone. I don't know if you moved to a bad place. Maybe you're pacing around or something, but all of a sudden...
Right.
Okay. You were coming across quite clear, but for the last minute or so, you've been breaking up a bit. But maybe the controllers don't want us to hear this diet info.
Yeah. Am I good now?
Yeah, you're fine now. No man is good. But now he went silent. Okay. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. But now I can't.
Meat, berries, honey, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. How about vegetables? No vegetables?
You know, the fermented thing is good, you know.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you can tolerate. So if you go like full carnivore, where you like limit everything to just meats and fats, and then start reintroducing things into your diet until you start. If you feel that you're off from introducing new stuff, then you know you can't tolerate it.
Oh,
you know?
Interesting.
Some people can't tolerate, you know, dairy. You know, if you start feeling sluggish and brain foggy from foods, then you know it's off the table.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah. So, but I wanted to say you're disavowing a lot of stuff lately. What's that all about?
Just protecting my channel.
You're I got you. The election fraud stuff. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of funny to do it. I don't know. It's kind of, you know, you make fun of something and then it becomes part of your habits too. It's a shame. There was a time I read a biography of somebody who was like a famous person in history, like Isaac Newton or somebody. He used to make fun of somebody who stuttered. And then he started stuttering, and then the lesson that he learned was, you don't make fun of somebody lest you start getting that same thing too. And so I've been disavowing a whole bunch, and I feel like inwardly I'm turning beta.
I could hear it on the phone.
It's terrible. Hake is beta, sold out to YouTube, covered his flag, beta, says
you gotta keep it rolling, man. You can't Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the Lori thing and CJ. Yeah, you gotta love art. Art's
nice.
Art is not a national treasure, but he's a hate caller treasure for sure.
Nice, man. Yeah. He brings some interesting stories and pretty good takes sometimes. Yeah. Nice. Anything else, man? It's good to hear from you. First time caller. You called the JLP before?
No.
Okay. Nice. I don't know if I've ever called the JLP either.
Yeah, you've probably seen me in the chat, I'm sure. You know, all my boys out there, Niner, Raymond.
Nice.
You know, all those guys. Yeah, it's good. Things are looking up. We just gotta hold fort, get through these hard times, and stop giving Ukraine billions of dollars. You know.
I wonder if that'll ever happen. Maybe if we get the right guy in 2020 after 2024, but
yeah, I think the only way to go now. You know, I was loving DeSantis for quite some time. You know, like fresh, young. You know, but I think Trump's got unfinished business, and I think it's important to kind of get him in, and you know, and to really for him to finish his work. You know,
right.
And, you know, restore the country back. You know, because disaster out there.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's crazy.
Dissolve all the lies, and you know, but it's all, you know, the corruption just goes so far. You know,
it does, man.
You know, like the Bidens. Like, how can you be giving Ukraine all this money and then be owned by China at the same time? It just doesn't make any sense. You know.
Huh.
You know.
I don't follow. Owned by China, giving Ukraine all this money and yet being owned by China? Oh, because China's more on Russia's side, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll back them when they have to.
Right. Yeah, China wants peace. China called on Russia to start doing peace talks, I heard, which that's nice. See, makes me feel good about China. I don't know. I think he's owned by more than just China. He's owned by very unchristian people. I think the whole West is all messed.
But yet he calls himself, in the Joe Kenyon terms, a devout Catholic.
Oh yeah.
How could you be a devout Catholic and support abortion?
Yeah, I know.
You know.
And LGBTIQ mess, even for kids. If an 8-year-old or 9-year-old or something like that feels like he's a transgender, then he should be able to do that, says Sleepy Joe Biden. What an evil person. That's sick.
All, you know, a ruse, you know. That's all it is.
Thank you, Shane. It's great to hear from you, man. Call me again
all right,
sometime.
Brother. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye. I cut him off there at the end a little bit abruptly, but I don't like to hear the click. Quick super chat from Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/The Hake Report. That's how I'm pronouncing it. It's supposed to be coffee, I think. Spoiler alert gave a tip over there, a super chat. The key to everything is the fact that people refuse to acknowledge the obvious fact that blacks and whites are different subspecies, he says. The liberals take it as axiomatic that this truth is not the case. Interesting, man. Subspecies. I hadn't considered that term in terms of the different races, right? There's the black race, there's the white race, there's the yellow race. And then the reds, are they mixed? Are the Indians mixed? American Indians mixed? What are the Arabs? They're called Arabs. What are those guys? Maybe they're whites. I don't know. But, and then the Hispanics, or those people south of the border, they're an ethnicity, different ethnicity. But yeah, people are different. And the culture's definitely shaped differently. And some say that it's based on genetics and also just the habits that different peoples fall into and families fall into and and individuals fall into. The whites tend to be more conservative, the normal whites anyway, and more pro-America, more pro-freedom, and decent, fair-minded. It's true, man. It's true. At least nowadays, for some reason. Deal with reality as it is, you know. Karen Williams says with his super chat, generous super chat, thank you, Karen Williams, on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. I still have that. Feliz Dia, Master Hake. Love Karen. Thank you, Karen Williams. Appreciate that. Happy day to you as well. I don't know if that's correct to say Feliz Dia, but maybe it is. I hadn't heard those two words together. It's Spanish. Right on. Thank you, Karen Williams. She called me master, so I did the crack the whip. Evil Israel with a couple super chats says, most doctors know nothing about nutrition and causes of diseases. They just prescribe and treat symptoms. Yeah, fair enough. And they stay paid anyway. And then they do what the customer wants. You know, the customer wants pills oftentimes, or they're used to, by and large, customers wanting them. Customers or patients wanting pills or an easy fix, or they're used to patients who don't have the self-discipline to diet. You know what? Change their diet, meaning change their eating habits. I had a doctor one time who said, it's too late to eat right. It's too late. And I was like 17 years old. I'm 17 years old and he's telling me that it's too late to eat right. Meaning eat more vegetables and drink enough water and all that stuff. You're gonna get a burger with your friends. You'll be out with your friends, get a burger. That doesn't mean it's too late to eat right. So some doctors have the wrong mindset. So anyway, Evil Israel also says, Paul says, 1 Corinthians 5:7, for Christ, our paschal lamb, has been sacrificed. Jesus says, go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Oh, Lord. He's finding a lot of instances, paschal. What's paschal? Paschal lamb means a lamb sacrificed at Passover. But didn't he say that he's, I don't know. Mercy. I thought it was, I desire obedience, not sacrifice. But mercy, not sacrifice. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a real contradiction. But he also gave another super chat. Paul, first in Galatians 4:5, he wrote a lot of letters to these different people. Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, I assume. Galatians 4:5, to redeem those who were under the law so that we might receive adoption as sons. Jesus says, truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is begotten from above, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Meaning born again. It's John 33. No, John 3:3. Huh. Whatever, man. But thank you. Appreciate that. Let me get to Alex in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, on the line. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Long time no hear. It's been a little while.
Yes, I've been busy.
Oh, right on. Working?
Yeah, how you been?
I've been fine, thank you.
Yeah, I've been working and stuff.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but I just want to ask you a question, and I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, is it good to adopt kids? I want to adopt some kids, some black kids.
You want to adopt some black kids? I really think that this guy's a troll now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I'll explain.
I'm not a troll. I just want to adopt some kids,
Some black kids?
Yes, because my wife said she don't want to have kids anymore.
You married this woman?
No, not my wife, my girlfriend. No, I have a new one. The other one, she already left me, man.
Another black girlfriend?
Yeah, the skinny one, the 19 years old, she left me.
Good. That's good though. You dodged a bullet.
No. Yeah, but now I have a girlfriend. She want to get married, but she says she don't want to have children because she already have 4 children.
No, you shouldn't do that, man. You shouldn't marry her. You should drop that woman. She already has kids. Don't be selfish. And don't be adopting kids not in your state. If you're serious.
I'm just asking, you know, I've been just thinking
I
about,
you want my advice? I recommend don't adopt kids. Do what you want, of course, but don't adopt black kids or any kids.
Is it hard to raise them?
I don't know. I've never tried. I would assume that it's hard. Look at how haggard some of these black ladies are. Shout out to the black ladies, black single mothers. Actually, some of them they're mildly attractive, but even still, they would tell you that it's hard.
Yeah,
it ain't
she's
easy,
like 40.
as Tupac
She's
said.
like 40.
It ain't
Go
easy
ahead.
trying to raise a man. Go ahead.
Yeah, she said, well, she's 41, and she said she can't have kids anymore. So I was just like thinking about, adopting some kids. But
No, that's not true. She's lying to you. She can have kids probably. There's a 48-year-old rapper lesbian woman, black, who, well, I don't know. They had to remove polyps and fibrosis or something like that. You know what? Fibroids? Break up with that woman. You're too young for her.
I don't know.
And she has kids. You already know that that's wrong. You listen to the Jesse Lee Peterson show?
Sometimes I listen to the Savage Moment.
Oh, okay. Right on, man. Well,
she says she's almost 45, so she can't have kids.
She's 41 going on 45?
I mean, after 4 years, she's going to be 45, she said.
Oh, okay. But people can
people
have kids.
Huh?
People have kids later than that, but don't have kids with a woman who already has kids. Don't be with her.
Yeah, I guess I should try to walk away, but she loves me. But sometimes she's mean,
Right.
She pushes me around and stuff.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty bossy sometimes. But you're Hispanic. You're Mexican. Aren't you Mexican?
Yes, but I'm into a black woman,
Right, but you don't be into black women who have kids.
Yes, but I want to have some black and brown kids,
No, you don't know what you want. You just got an idea in your head and you're attached to it.
Yes, in my head, yes. That's in my head.
Yep.
Something is telling me in my head, I need to have kids, black and brown,
No, you need to disavow that. I recommend you disavow that. Do what you want.
Maybe if I wait until I am 27, maybe I will be too old.
No, 27 is not too old. It's not too old to have kids. What the heck? It's silly. But you shouldn't be. Don't get hung up on wanting a particular race of kids, especially. I mean, if anything, you should be hung up on wanting other Mexican babies.
But Mexican women are mean, though, kind of.
Not as no more mean than the blacks.
I think some black ladies are a little bit nicer.
Yeah, here and there you'll find women are hit and miss, right? But irregardless, you should stick with your kind, man. I recommend.
Well, is it okay? Is it
I recommend you do what you want, obviously.
Yeah, but I see a lot of mixed children online, on Facebook, on Instagram, a lot of them.
And you think they're cute looking?
Yeah, they're cute looking, yeah.
But they're kind of messed up, too. I mean, that just kind of adds to the complication of their lives.
Well, when they grow up, they get confused or what?
Yeah, they get confused. I mean, they're already confused because growing up is confusing because people are confusing. They're not consistent. Parents are not consistent. But
so, when do you think is the ideal age for men to get married?
Somewhere between 18 and ideal age. Maybe
18
not.
to what?
Maybe not 18. Maybe more like 25. Between 25 and 35, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, but my mom is forcing me to get married because she says she want to see some grandkids.
Don't worry about her. Don't listen to her. You're a grown man. You don't need to listen to her.
But every time I go to visit her, she's like, "I want some grandkids. When are you going to get married?" Stuff like that.
Oh, well, tell her to mind her own business. That she shouldn't be doing that.
No, I would, but that's too mean.
That's not mean. She's mean for pushing that on you. She's being selfish.
She says she want to see my kids before she's like.
See, it's all about her.
50s.
Selfish.
Oh no, I can't tell her she's selfish.
Oh yeah, you could.
Well,
you don't have to. Well, okay, you don't have to tell her she's selfish, but she is selfish. That's not mean of you to. Maybe you shouldn't be going around there.
But
or
she's
tell
my mom,
tell her. So what? You're a grown man. You don't need a mom. You don't need a mom. Anyway, man.
She gave me this life that I'm living.
No, she didn't. God gave you that. God gave you that. She had a hand in it. She had a hand in messing you up. She had a hand in giving birth to you, and messing you up. That's it.
But whenever she get mad at me, she say like, "I carry you for 9 months and stuff." She says she.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, man, do what you want. Appreciate you, Alex, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You're gonna go back to Mexico?
Oh no, I don't like Mexico. I don't like the white people here, but I like the place. The place is beautiful. I like it, man. I make a lot of money, man.
Right. Yeah.
Mexico is no good. I'm scared of the cartels, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, stay in Oklahoma then. But get away from your mama and from those black mamas. Take care, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, good talking to you. Good
you too.
To you, hey.
All right, appreciate you, man.
All right.
Bye. Nick in the UK. Let's get to a serious call, shall we? Nick in the UK. How you doing, man?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Great.
I'm good. I'm not good. I'm okay. I'm cool, innit?
Nice.
How are you? Hope you and everyone is doing well as well.
Yeah, doing well. Thank you.
Sorry, I just had to take you off loudspeaker, innit? Because I don't like keeping the phone right near my brain. With the
understandable
calls.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just a quick. Obviously, it was very interesting listening. With the last song that you played.
Yeah.
It was interesting just to hear that, and there's one quick question I just want. I know I said something else to your producer Sean, but obviously I was talking about vibrations, but while I've been waiting, there was a thought that came. Well, I know all thoughts are lie, but this is a thought that's been there for some time. Back in deep in my mind. In the Bible it says was it the voice of God? He spoke and it was, or some along them sort of lines. So taking that into account, while I was waiting, obviously personally, me and my family, we play a lot of musical instruments. We've got a piano at home, we've got a guitar, we've got certain things at home, and obviously I've got Bluetooth speakers and so forth. And during these conspiracy times, there was a lot of people saying listen to 432 hertz. It's supposed to be calming and soothing. And apparently that's been.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Apparently it's been taken away from us. Anyways, in the property that we live in, this is just my example. People can test this out for themselves. We live in a property by, you say, 140 square feet in meters. And I played it on the other end of the side. I was just playing some just instrumental music. And on the other side of the house, that's where the piano was, then all the main musical instruments made out of wood and so forth and string. And one of the days I just went, I was playing it on that side and I've gone over to that side and I could hear, the vibrations, the pitch, vibrating through the actual piano itself. And I thought that was fascinating. So obviously I've just gone into it a bit more. And obviously then I came across, while I was growing up as well, where, opera singers and people that can hit high-pitched notes could break glass.
Right.
And I thought that was even more fascinating, like sound itself.
Yeah.
Can like penetrate, can break, a piece of, solid piece of glass. And then I was, that was just, just one of my life, one of them things that you kind of notice through life, but you just carry on going, don't you? And obviously you and Hassan were talking as well, and there was another question to Hassan that I wanted to, but maybe you can, pass it on to him. When I was growing up, I grew up next to a Muslim imam, which is like one of their holy priests.
Right.
And he had a son that was my age. So obviously we used to chill. We used to, chill out. He used to tell me things about his religion, and I never used to say anything about my religion because, I was just growing up. But from a preacher's side, I guess he was just, telling me what he would hear as he was growing up. And I don't know. He said to me once that, like within the Muslim holy book, the Quran, that they say that they're not allowed to listen to music. And I was just thinking, they call it like haram, innit? And I just thought that's very fascinating because I've got loads of, I've got loads of boys, innit? Loads of friends that are like all from different races. And they, they listen to music, they go out, bars and clubs and so forth, and they would still be listening to that. And then, I just thought that was something that I just wanted to tell you. And, I just wanted to get like Hassan's opinion on that. Later on, he doesn't have to say anything right now, but I just wanted to see if that was right or if it was wrong or, where is the actual, like, the baseline on that. Is that, if it's truth, if it's written in that book, that's fine. If not, then obviously I know for myself it was a lie because, it's important to know what's truth and what not. What's a lie basically, isn't it?
Do you follow what he's asking, Hassan?
Sorry,
do.
Could you repeat that again?
Yeah, I do. It's an interesting question. I know that.
What's the question again? In short.
So, in short, does it say that Muslims are allowed to listen to music, basically?
I don't know verbatim in the Quran, but I know that, and I do know that there's Sunni and Shiite, so there are two different
sects, of groups, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with,
and
two different understandings.
Yeah, and strictness, I think, depending on two, but probably, I mean, in the sense, kind of like even how the Bible sort of talks about how like music really should just be kind of, praising God or kind of worship, in glory to God. I would say that it's probably not a far stretch to say that they would deem any secular music to be haram or, like that. But it's funny because my father, a lot of the prayers that he listens to, they almost are in a form of like music in a weird way. So I don't, it's an interesting thing. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
A lot of old stuff has like chants, like the Latin mass and stuff like that, and maybe the Orthodox stuff. They have like chants.
Yeah, and that's how the prayers that like he'll listen to, they're very similar to that.
Weird. I mean, it's kind of cool sometimes. Kind of nice sometimes.
With no disrespect to Hassan, I was just asking his opinion on it all.
Yeah.
But like even personally, when I was growing up, I'd get a few tracks like passed my way, and the music, the Arabian music was very soothing, very, very soothing. I could say that for, like it felt like, I'm not being nasty in any way whatsoever, but it felt like I was, being pulled that way.
Oh.
And it was very soothing. I was going through my own trials and tribulations at that time.
Yeah.
And, it did feel very soothing at that time. And if we look at like American, like Christian music, some of the music that you play, kind of, I understand and I get in it, yeah, but there's like, like a lot of the gospel music as well, like, the old school, like, gospel music. I do relate to that as well. Like some, my hard times are I'll just put that on, and like that kind of pulls me that way as well. And I just feel like it's, like I come back again to that, that phrase, like the word of God, innit? Was he talking about, was he actually saying, the sound itself? Was he, what is the real, the real deep meaning behind it?
Huh. I don't know, man. You're the one whose father was from India or something like that, and he fought for England?
No, that was my great-granddad. He was in the army.
Okay.
And, we got citizenship when we came over, and then we've just worked.
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing, though. The benefit system is a scam. It enslaves you in the long run.
It enslaves you in the long run, you said. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing as well, my son listens to Jesse Lee Peterson as well.
Oh, nice.
And he's been listening for the last couple of years.
How old is he, if you don't mind my asking?
He's 9 years old.
Oh, right on.
He's well aware, he was listening. He's 9 now, but he's probably been listening, from 6, 7 onwards.
Nice.
And I remember there was one, personal experience, like there was one specific time where he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, Dad, are we Christians?" And I, for some reason, from how I grew up, I got very angry at him. Like I watched myself basically, and I was like, "Oh, we're not Christians." And then afterwards, I stepped away and I was like, "Oh, why did I say that to him? Why did I shout in such a horrible way to him?" And he was just asking a simple question,
right?
And if you look at it, there's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong, with having good values, innit? And thinking, but going back onto point, what my son does right now at school, innit? He's at a school with his there's probably like about 3-4 colored people out of 100 people,
okay.
and he has conversations with white children that totally agree with what he is saying. Like what normal people think, common sense.
Right.
And, all of this LGBT nonsense, he is well aware of it, and he knows, he knows his moral compass, if that's what,
yeah.
He knows what's straight and narrow, basically.
Were you raised Sikh?
Yeah, I was raised Sikh, so...
is it pronounced Sikh or Sikh, or either is fine?
Well, they say Sikh or they say Sikh.
Okay.
There's many names for it, but
S-I-K-H.
again, I feel like the whole religion itself, like Sikhism, there are good people in there and there are bad people in there.
Oh, okay.
And the bad people are the ones that are wealthy because they've used it and abused it to kind of, like any religion, religion is a business if you look at it.
Yeah.
The more people that come in, the more people that donate, the better that church or organization or temple or whatever you want to call it make more money, because then they have treasurers, they have secretaries, they have this and that,
and then it gets corrupt because it gets corrupt because it goes away from its values. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrible.
Absolutely.
Interesting, man.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. With those, I don't mean any disrespect to Hassan. I like listening to him now. Before I was a bit cautious, but I like the guy, It's cool.
Yeah, same here. Well, I don't think I was cautious with Hassan, but thank you, man. Appreciate
well, you know what? You got to be got to be cautious of everyone these days, mate. You can't put your guard down, can you?
Right. Yep. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
True.
Like Jesse says, innit? Yeah, you can trust no man.
Yeah, very true. Nick in UK, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, you guys take care anyway, innit? Yeah, and all the best, innit?
Okay.
And shout out to your producer, Sean, innit?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Sean, doing the calls. Appreciate that.
Cool.
All right.
Peace.
All right, you too. Nick in UK. Man, let me cover quickly before I get back to calls this story about most young men are single, most young women are not, from The Hill. I happened to see this in The Hill, which is a far left article. I mean, a website. The Hill is. It's crazy. It's Daniel DeVise. DeVise? More than 60% of young men are single. Nearly twice the rate of unattached young women, signaling a larger breakdown in the social, so-called romantic and sexual, life of the American male. Men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, dormant, they say, friendless and lonely, according to this article. They stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America. We're in a crisis of connection, says Niobe Way. Sounds like a woman. A psychology professor and founder of the Project for the Advancement of Our Common Humanity at New York University, NYU. Oh, gosh. Disconnection from ourselves and each other. It's getting worse. Young men commit suicide at 4 times the rate of young women. Younger men are responsible for rising rates of mass shootings. I don't know if the rates are rising that much, but maybe. I know black violent crime has been rising. Maybe the all crime, too. A trend some researchers link to growing social isolation. Societal changes that began in the Eisenhower years have eroded the patriarchy that once ruled the American home, classroom, and workplace. Women now collect nearly 60% of bachelor's degrees, and those degrees are a mess. Men still earn more because they do more valuable things, but among the youngest adults, the income gap has narrowed to only $43 a week. Scholars say the new era of gender parity has reshaped relationship dynamics, empowering young women, and in many cases, removing young men from the equation. Women don't need to be in long-term relationships. They don't need to be married. They'd rather go to brunch with friends than have a horrible date, said Greg Matos, couple and family psychologist in L.A., who penned a viral article called What's Behind the Rise of Lonely Single Men? Haven't seen that article. Greg Matos, but he did a viral article. Recent years have seen a historic rise in unpartnered Americans, particularly among the young. The scamdemic made things worse. The overreaction to the pandemic, right? As of 2022, Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, meaning boyfriend or girlfriend, or actual not morally straight partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Not that it's morally straight to be living with either of them. Nearly half of all young adults are single, 34% of women, and a whopping 63% of men. Young men. Decline in relationship marches astride with a decline in sex, the S word. The share of S-wordly active Americans stands at a 30-year low. Probably because of the rise, in part perhaps because of the rise in the pornography stuff, but they don't mention that in this article, at least not at the top of the article. Around 30% of young men, reported in 2019 they had no S-word in the past year, compared to 20% of young women who had no S-word. Maybe the young women are just more dishonest, but, well, that too, how about? Only half of single men are actively seeking relationships, even casual dates, according to Pew. Figure is declining. They're pretending the scamdemic wasn't even a threat to these young people, but some of them were brainwashed by the propaganda, especially females. I'm scared of the coronavirus. Well, they didn't call it that. Anyway, young men are watching a lot of social media. They mentioned a lot of pornography. Getting their needs met without having to go out. Needs? What are you talking about? Fred Rabinowitz, not a Christian. Where are they? Why aren't they asking Christians? Used to be the pastors were the people you asked about stuff like this. But now they're going to the psychologists because they're communists. Even seasoned researchers struggle to fully account for the relationship gap between young men and women. If single men outnumber single young women nearly 2-to-1, then who are all the young women dating? Older people. And then also 1/5, some of them are dating each other. Disgusting. 1/5 of Gen Z identifies as queer. Research suggests so-called bisexual women, sorry kids, make up a large share of the young adult queer so-called community. It's not a community. It's terrible, huh? Young women dating and marrying slightly older men, which is common and nothing particularly wrong with that. Heterosexual women, so-called, meaning normal women, are getting more choosy. They don't want to marry down to form a long-term relationship with a man with less education and earns less than she does. What a mess that they've made, haven't they, with society? Terrible. 15% of men report having no close friendships, a 5-fold increase from 1990. This says the Survey Center on American Life. Men are less naturally relational than women, says Richard Reeves, Brookings Institution, who wrote a book of Boys and Men, drawing wide praise. Yeah, right. What a mess. And they're mocking men like crazy. SNL had a man park instead of dog park. Sick. It's funny, even though when they're talking about the how bad off the men are, they're coming up with the wrong solutions. Social circles among men and women have been shrinking, especially since the scamdemic, but men struggle more. I don't know if they're struggling. 30 years ago, 55% of men reported having 6 or more close friends. By 2021, that share had slipped to 27%. There's a lot of division, too. You know, like political division. Like the dumb liberals can't be friends with you. Liberals have a hard time being friends if you disagree with them. Conservatives, with anger, they can't be friends either. But yeah, they've turned into women. Women form friendships with each other that are emotionally intimate, whereas men do not. Young women may not be dating, but their girlfriends they spend time with and gain emotional support from them. Lord, emotional support. There's a friendship recession. Terrible stuff. Guys are taught to prioritize career, also romantic relationships, although it doesn't seem like they're doing a very good job at that, said this one guy, Aaron Caro. Making friends and keeping friends seems to be a lower priority, and once a guy gets older, they suddenly realize they have no friends. Terrible. That guy is a podcast host in his early 40s with Matt Ritter, so they're my competitor in their Man of the Year podcast, talking about the male friendship recession. And so they're doing a gathering. They're thinking like women. An annual gathering to keep their friendship alive. And have a year-round group chat and a Man of the Year trophy. Ugh, where's my spittoon? Nah, it's okay. It's cute. But these are men. Men are not supposed to be cute. We treat friendship as luxury, especially men. It's a necessity, says Ritter. Ritter is the other guy who co-hosts with him, Matt Ritter. Where's my spittoon? Hold on. Man, what a mess. Their solutions are just making it worse. Date long, marry short, says Chico Stick. But anyway, what a shame. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I hope you enjoyed it. Callers, I cannot get to you. Let me double check on the super chats here on Ko-fi. Let's see. Yeah, I got that one from Spoiler Alert. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, Evil is Real, for the coffees and the Streamlabs support. He said Evil is Real said all music is gay. I disavow. But yeah, music is the language of Satan. I've heard. A wise man once said that. Don't get too into it. Emotional support. Just listen to music and have friends. Evil is Real says adoption and begotten/reborn are entirely different things. Paul says adoption. Jesus says reborn, begotten. Thank you, Evil is Real, for the support, man. Let me check on Rumble and D Live. Don't want to be a shyster to DJ Jean Paul. Thank you for the. I guess he gave me an ice cream. Droopy 10. Thank you, man. Guys, enjoy another classic, Softly and Tenderly. I haven't played this song in forever. By LN from the 2006 album Novel. By Gary Murray is LN, but he had a female singer, so happy Women's History Month. Bye. Adios, America.